Hello, hello. I'm Jean.
And I am Laura, and we are here to encourage all you millennials, boomers, and everyone in between to be happily okay together. And I'm also going to say welcome to all the Gen Zers. As I say, everyone in between, but that wouldn't include them. So we welcome you too, Gen Zers.
Right, air hug to the Gen Zers.
Exactly. How are you? You're still down there in the beautiful, wonderful Florida land.
I am, but you're having some nice weather. So tell me about your week.
Well, I almost feel like I'm almost on vacation like you down there. It is sunny. Yes, I said the word sunny. There's sunshine. It's like, I don't know, 61. I was just outside. It's wonderful. I'm trying to soak it up because we know Ohio, there could be snow in a week.
That's right, but happy spring for now. I mean, there could be snow on like Memorial Day. That's probably stretching it, but it could be chilly. So enjoy. I'm glad.
Yes, indeedy. So I have had a delightful week. And why, you might ask?
Yes, why, Laura?
Well, I knew you'd want to know because we're at the 1 year point since my little baby boy was born. It's the happy first year birthday to my grandson.
And that's so wonderful. That is so wonderful. So we're having
Yes.
what, fireworks and a circus and
Exactly. We've hired them all to come. Trapeze is being set up now. So
oh, he'll love that.
yeah, very. We did it. I mean, he was born pretty much when Ohio shut down. So here we are a year later. It's all filled with hope and festivities, and I'm feeling good.
You're right. That is another thing to really make us feel hopeful. I mean, he's just doing great. He is just the cutest.
He's
And
very cute.
you sent me the cutest picture, which I don't know if you want to share it or not, but he's climbing in the dishwasher. It's so adorable.
Well, but yes, I mean you're helping with dishes, and we don't give him sharp knives to put in. He's probably not quite ready for that, but he was helping away, and then I think he decided I might as well sit in the dishwasher and help. So
It's great thing.
smart
I mean, he
child.
looks adorable. I mean, he's not a baby anymore. He's a little person.
No, he is a little person. He's a cutie. So he's doing pretty well around the kitchen. Yours truly, of course, never does as well around the kitchen, but
You have another story? You have another kitchen story?
I do have a slight kitchen story, but it has a happier ending. We've had construction workers around. So I've been really hungry for toast lately. Toast. There's nothing better than the smell of toast in your house.
I agree. So
I happily bought this fabulous Dave's every kind of grain known to man toast, put it in. I like mine on the crispier side, so I had it on a fairly high number. It's in. And then one of the construction workers walks by and says, "Ma'am, I feel like your toaster might be on fire." I was like, "No, you're kidding me." And I thought maybe he'd heard the other fires and he was just joking.
but he was.
No, sadly, I had left an entire previously toasted piece of toast in there on the other side. So now it was just like retoasting burnt toast to the point that there was billowing smoke coming out of my toaster. The good news, and I feel like I'm getting better in life, no false alarms went off.
Oh, good. Did you have to do the code at all, or was it
Not at all. I grabbed the toaster, unplugged it, and put it outside on the deck. It was amazing how much smoke was still spewing out of it.
So now I think you're combining. See if I'm right about this. You're kind of combining two things that have happened to you. You've had kitchen fires. You've had them what, in the oven?
Yes, in the
Mostly
oven. Always in the oven.
And now you've had another kitchen fire, but you also had a story of being mixed up with food, and some of your food was at your daughter's and some was at your house, and you never had the right food where you wanted it, and now you're forgetting about toast in the toaster.
Yes. What does all this mean? We
You
don't
need
know.
you need to start eating out more. Hopefully we can start eating out more, right?
Exactly. I would love to eat out more. But you know what might help me get there? Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you sitting down?
Oh, I'm always sitting down. Yes.
I thought you might be in the lazy river. You never know.
Right.
I got my vaccine. Oh, oh.
And you're happy about that.
Apparently, I'm singing the happy ooh song. Yes, I am thrilled. I am thrilled, and I learned a lot along the way. I ended up getting the J&J one.
Okay.
That's the lingo for the Johnson & Johnson one. I didn't know that. When the pharmacist was giving it to me, he said, "Well, of course, this is the J&J."
And
And
you just said,
I looked a little horrified for a moment. People in the pharmacy are looking at me like, "Are you going to be okay?" And I said, J&J, because I had it into my mind I was getting the Pfizer or Moderna. And he said, Johnson & Johnson. I said, sure, it's a vaccine. I'll take it. But then I had to do a lot of research afterwards
oh,
because
so science. You're going to science it up for us. Great.
it is time, as we so cleverly call it, the science time. Clever, isn't it?
Yeah,
Science time.
we'll keep that. We'll keep that.
Yes, it's
All right.
science
So,
time.
what's the
So,
science, Laura?
well, I had to know the difference. I just did. So, and this is just for anyone who wants to know this. If you don't, just go talk to your OH right now or feed the cat. But
Right. Make some toast.
yeah, make some toast. Try not to burn it. But in case you were wondering, and probably everybody already knows this, I did not know this. Had maybe heard glimpses, but didn't really know. Okay, are you ready? The
Yes.
Moderna and the Pfizer, which of course require the 2 shots,
Right.
they work with something called mRNA, which of course stands for the messenger ribonucleic acid.
Yes.
And that's the genetic material that they put inside of you that gives little instructions that when that bad spiky coronavirus thing is in there, it needs to make immune responses using your lymphocytes.
Yes.
Lymphocytes. The memory T1 recognizes it, and then your B ones know to fight it. So it goes in through the messenger RNA. Now, interesting method to do it. Why not? The J&J, as it were. And I'm kind of glad I have this one because I like the way it sounds. I think they are all good. I'm not plugging one or the other. They're all fine. Okay. The J&J one uses a viral vector.
Okay.
How fun is that to say? I have a viral
vector. You do. And what does that mean?
Well, that's why they take like a common virus. It's a adenovirus something. I have that completely wrong, and do not quote me. But it's a virus that doesn't cause the illness at all, but they're able to genetically alter it. So they put in the spiky COVID antigen thing that you want to get rid of, and they just introduce it to your cells. Again, they memorize it, those little T lymphocytes, and then your B guys know if it should come, they're going to fight it off. So it works the same way, except one uses a common cold virus and one uses this messenger RNA. But it does the same job. It's like 2 different trains going into your cell.
And you only have to get 1 shot with the J&J.
Correct. Yes. So I have I don't know, maybe 13 more days. Well, I've less than that. I think I'm down to about 9 days for where I'll be out of the 2-week zone. And then I will continue to mask, and I'll continue to do what I'm supposed to do.
Well, you'll have to tell us in the next 2 weeks, like how you feel and how everything's going. And
I know.
Yeah, I'm just still pondering the whole thing. But interesting science. There you go. Yeah. Science from our favorite science teacher. Yes. Good. So anything else? Thank you for that.
No, I think that's about it. Just enjoying my wonderful little, there's nothing like loving a baby. I got cutest pictures of our little 3 month old baby girl in Chicago. And I mean, just that love that you feel. Oh, can't describe it. It's the
Well,
best.
that has been on my mind, believe it or not. The wonderful, warm, unconditional love. I have been thinking about that this week. That's really kind of been my lazy river thought. And just real quick, I've been wanting to know
Yes.
what is your grandma name?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. It's Grandma Gigi. Gigi.
Grandma
Gigi.
Gigi. I like that. And are you Gigi to both?
Yes, I'm going to be Gigi to any little baby that should ever come along. I hope they can say it because I think it's cute. I like it.
Grandma Gigi. Yeah, I think that'd be fine.
Yeah.
I think that sounds snappy, right? Snappy and
Yes.
fun. Is that what you
Yes. I don't want to sound too old, like
right?
Grandma Gertrude. I don't know. I'm so sorry if anyone's name is Gertrude. It's a
Yeah,
beautiful name. I apologize, but Gigi just sounded peppier.
that'd be fun. Which is you? Well, I really got to thinking about unconditional love because how many posts and Instagram things are there about saying use self love and love yourself?
All the time.
Yeah, and I never really kind of it just didn't get inside of me. Those were just words to me, as opposed to truly understanding it. But we went out to eat this past weekend with the young man who's done a lot of business with us, and we really like him. And he was down visiting his family in Florida, his mom and his no, not his mom, his aunt and his grandmother, and we were down here too. So we were like, oh, we'll get together. So we did, and
Yeah.
he is a very nice young man. He's like a self-made man, and he's an entrepreneur, and he's doing great, and he's a sweetheart. But his grandma and his aunt love him so much. I mean, it was just, I mean, the love rays are just streaming out from them. I mean, they are so proud of him and they just love him. And it was really the first time in a while that I've seen that just unconditional love. Like he is so important to them. I mean, they're like the sunflowers and he's the sun. And I think
Aw.
really seeing it demonstrated, I really felt like, that's what people are talking about, where they just, he's their boy. They love him. And
Well, I get that. I mean, the love I have for these two grandchildren, it you can't describe it. And you love your own children. Incredibly, you love your own children.
absolutely. But I think you get caught up in the whole, trying to be a good mom and get them going and
Yes,
but
yes.
you have the ability to really practice the unconditional love,
Oh, I like
right?
that. I like
So,
that.
so right. So it's so important. So just always do that. I mean, everything they do is just wonderful, and you love them.
Well, I think that'll be easy to do. But
Good
nice
for
to
you.
hear it put that way. A good reminder.
Well, I just really thought about it, and I thought so. Even for ourselves, I mean, we should be loving ourselves that same way. That same way of, and I don't know how you really do that, but it means more to me now, having experienced it.
To have that self-love that we
Yes.
feel, that unconditional love that you have for your children and grandchildren, we should be gifting to ourselves.
Yes.
Huh. Because I'm
Yes.
not sure I do this.
Right. And they say you should, and I always kind of was like, oh, right, right, it's some new thing. But I think no, it's not. Wouldn't that be great? Shouldn't you love yourself as much as um you love those little sweethearts?
Wow. And this is fascinating, Jean, because you're right. It's really easy to read self love, make sure you love yourself, take time for yourself, blah, blah, blah. But do we? And I think there's a little part of us that thinks we're being selfish if we do.
Right. Right. Or it doesn't matter or right, but it does matter. Wouldn't it be nice to have that same amount of love? I mean, they just radiate love. for their their
Yeah,
nephew, and
they're
and
family
and you
there.
radiate love too. I mean, they truly, I'm sure they have. He's just been enveloped in love, and I thought I want to do that same thing for me. I should love myself that much, not in a fakey, prideful way.
Right, but in truly that God made you, so why
Right.
wouldn't you?
And God does love us that same way. That also came to my mind too. I mean, God truly does love us in that same, as much love as they were showing or you're showing to your grandkids. I mean, obviously God loves us even more. So I need to pay attention to all this more.
Well said. Well said. We should follow up on this, Jean, if we can remember
Right.
when
Let's
we
try.
chat
All right. We'll,
again.
we'll explore this some more. So because it's the kind of thing you have to think about a little bit. So you think about it, please, and I will too.
I
And
definitely
and
will.
we'll really try to get back to it. We always say we'll get back to topics and then we forget, but let's really try to get back to this.
I like it.
So from the profound, let's turn to food.
Oh, always a winner. Always.
In the mood for some food chat.
Yes.
All right. Well, we went to the breakfast buffet at the nice hotel by us. They have a big buffet
Okay. Okay.
every Sunday. You've been to it. It's wonderful. And they have brought it back, of course, with some changes.
Yeah, I was going to say, I have not been to a buffet at all since COVID.
Right. I haven't been since we went to the same buffet a year ago. The clinking orange juice picture.
Which was right before COVID. And this is the first after COVID buffet. Oh my goodness. I feel a little trembly. I'm shaking a little to hear about this.
So we had hoped to sit outside, but we didn't get there quite early enough. We got there a little before 9.
Okay.
But they said, no, we're sorry. We don't have any outside seating, but we do have a very
Isolated,
isolated
separated
shelter
table.
table.
Okay.
So they took us back to a table, which in real life, if you can remember back to real life eating at restaurants, in the old days, you would have turned this table down because it was way back in the corner where they kept the high chairs. You know what I mean? It was like basically. So in the old days, you would have been like, no, no, I don't want to sit here. But of course, we thought it was perfect.
Right. You're thrilled to be far from
Yes, we're back
crowd.
here with the high chairs. Great. So we sat there, and our waitress was very friendly, nice, but very careful not to, when she took our order or, at first stopped by to greet us, she did stand at least 6 feet away from the table. And then I noticed the rest of the time as she came by to like pour our coffee or to check on her, she would basically do it pretty much as a walk by.
Wow.
She would just kind of pour it, walk away, not,
Yes, not stand and breathe and chat. And yes.
I mean, she was very pleasant, but that was nice too. So how did they do the buffet?
How?
Well, they, some of the food that was harder to do, they didn't have, okay, so the food that they would have cooked last year as the chef tables, the chef, what do you call that?
Your omelets and all that good.
Right. That you order through the restaurant and they just run it by you and put it down and run away. So that's fine. So that you can still tell them all your ingredients and do all that. But then the actual buffet, they had it barricaded extremely well with plexiglass. So everything's on display, just like you saw last year, but really barricaded with high plexiglass and plexiglass that even curved over the people's, and people served you. So they were pretty much dressed in like full PPE, and they would pass your plate down and fill it for you.
So did you, this is fascinating.
I know, isn't it?
Did you put your plate like under the plexiglass?
No, they had the plates on their side. So you just walked up. So there's high plexiglass that, like I said, actually curves back away from you so that
yes,
really the people who are working are underneath like this roof. So they're protected by the roof and they had gloves and big masks and hats. And so you would just pass and you try to tell them how much you wanted, like 2 pieces of bacon and a big serving of eggs or a small serving of this. And They
So
were just
nobody serves themselves. You just
no.
have to tell them.
Right. And if anything, I thought, I bet this is making people eat less because you don't want to stand there and say, like, I want 5 pounds of hash browns with. I mean,
I
maybe you
know.
do, but you're less inclined to like make the mountain of food because you're.
Right. I mean, would I honestly say I would like 8 slices of bacon, please? But I
But
would.
you would. I mean, you could, but I did. So we went through the line like that, and they even still had the donuts and the rolls, but everything you just asked for, and they put it on your plate.
Wow.
So I think it worked.
Was it faster or slower or the same?
It was, well, a little hard to tell because it wasn't real crowded before 9 o'clock. I would think it's faster. It really got busy after 9:30. So I don't know. I was glad we were kind of done by then. But we had a great time. It's we did.
And you did it. See, I'm afraid nobody can understand me lately when I speak under my mask.
Well, that is true, and you're right.
And I don't want to have to be shouting out, no, I wanted that donut with the extra sprinkle or, huh. But it works.
Yeah,
It
we had
works.
a great time. We had a great time. So I'm yes, I was very happy with that.
All
And I
right.
also did something I haven't done down here. I went on a nature walk.
Well,
They had
do tell.
it was one of the hotel activities or timeshare activities. You went on a nature walk. They just had beautiful plants and foliage, and there's all kinds of little tropical birds. And one of my goals during COVID that I don't think I have shared with you, one of my goals was to start learning the more of the names of plants and like birds.
You have not shared this with me.
Well, it hit me. I thought, I just don't know the names of hardly anything. I mean, I know what geraniums are. I mean, I know what petunias are.
Maybe Lily, but you're right.
Right.
We
I
we
get
could
all
be
mixed up.
more
So
advanced with this.
I really enjoyed it. So I thought, good. That was one thing I wanted to do during COVID, and I at least got started on the idea of learning more the names of things that I see every day that I don't know the name of.
Well,
And of
good
course,
for
yes,
you.
I was proud of that. And of course, we did the water aerobics, which we loved, and the instructor was really good this time. So I feel like we got very good workouts for stretching and flexibility and also some strength too. So water aerobics, of course, is done in the pool. And so I thought, oh great, if you build your pool, I could have a water aerobics class for you and me.
Well, of course, the big thing would be if we built our pool,
Right. So we could
which
have
I
all.
would love to. We're still pondering. We will forever be just finishing our indoor project.
Well, who knows? You're
Yeah, you
right.
never know.
So I have
One of
one
these
more thing to
days.
tell you, and then I want to tell you about it. We're going to have our new trends topic. So I'm just going to tell you one thing. I want to say hello to Jane O'Brien, who's an author, and I believe I shared with you before. She writes this marvelous time slip story, and a new book is coming out soon. And she sent me a picture of herself quilting and listening to our podcast.
Well, how nice.
I know. So, hi, Jane.
Hi, how
Hi.
nice. Thank you for listening. That's just such a nice visual to think somebody is listening while they're quilting.
Isn't that nice? I like that. So, Jane, we'll tell you about our new trend.
Yes. Oh, is it time for new trends?
It's time for new trends, new topic, new trends. Maybe if
New
Pat has some kind of
trends.
interesting sound effect, a new trend sound effect, that would be.
Even like a cymbals or a gong, something. Yes, thanks, Pat. Whatever you want to throw in there. All
So,
right.
new trends, my new trend, and I think you have some new trends too.
I do. Go ahead.
My new trend is about mini brands.
Mini brand.
Brands.
Don't know what this is.
These are, I was a little disappointed. I saw some photos, and apparently they're very big on Instagram of like teeny tiny things, like a little snail by a little teeny tiny, totally accurate box of Kleenex,
What?
or
So there's
or a little bug, something cute and tiny. There's lots of pictures, and they're maybe by a little teeny tiny, totally accurate bottle of hand cream. Jergens hand lotion. It looks exactly like the little bottle, only it's about an inch big.
And this is used for
Fun.
advertising?
No, for
Just for
fun.
fun.
People like to collect these. You could,
They are actually buying them and collecting them.
yes, they're actually the many brands is actually a name of this product, and you could buy all
Ah,
kinds of um, little miniatures, but they're not real, but they look real.
mini brand. So that's the name of the company that makes these tiny little things that you
Little
could collect.
replicas of like little popcorn bags, um,
And I would just set
little
these on a
candy
shelf.
bars. Yeah, and you would just have fun looking at them and how cute they are. Now, I once, a long time ago, not that long ago, I was at a breakfast buffet somewhere else, and they had little teeny tiny real bottles of Tabasco sauce.
I've seen those.
Have
They're
you seen those? And
adorable.
they are totally adorable. And I kept it for a long time. In fact, I had a I really spent a lot of time debating whether I should move it with me. I actually debated, should I move this little, because I was going through my spice rack, right? Going through my spices, and I think I finally decided to toss it. Although, how much room would it have taken up in my
Right. Of all the things you were debating on, it would not have taken much space.
right a Tabasco bottle that's 3/4 of an inch high? So now I want it back. So that's a trend, and you have some
Huh.
trends too, I think, right?
Maybe in your Easter basket, Easter bunny will bring you a
Oh,
little
that
mini
would be fun.
Tabasco.
Mini, right, right.
You
Yeah,
never know. I got chicken tongues, so you never know.
right. So mini brands for me. So did you say you had a trend?
Well, I do. And these are not mini. In fact, they cost a lot. Have you heard of two things I heard recently? And maybe you've already heard this, but for me, this old boomer, it was like, I'll be darned. Crypto collectibles.
What's the first word?
Crypto, CRYPTO, crypto collectibles. For example, I believe it went on sale just recently. Jack Dorsey, CEO of Twitter, his very first tweet, this is all digital, sold for $2.5 million. It's called digital art.
I did hear something about his first tweet selling. I can't even comprehend that.
It's like so bizarre to me. And I feel like such an old timer here. But I mean, I guess people do this. Crypto collectibles. So you could pay for a meme, some cat meme sold for $600 million. Not 600 million, 600,000.
But still a lot.
A
Which reminds
lot.
me of I am not a cat.
I am not a cat. That was the best. You still, if you're down in the dumps, people look up that cat
I
lawyer
am
thing.
not a cat. But anyhow, yeah,
It's
I
the
don't
best.
know much about that. That's boy, that just shows how
Yes.
we are in.
And we're out of touch. And then I learned a new term because I like to feel like I'm up on the latest.
Yes, my dear.
This is all kept in a digital ledger system like Bitcoin, all that stuff. And NFTs. NFTs, that's what I just learned. Non fungible tokens. Isn't that interesting? NFTs. So next time you're talking to your son, you can sound like you are up on the latest artificial intelligence and digital ledgers and just throw out the
Except I won't. I'll be babbling all kinds of the wrong letters.
NFTs, I don't know if it's pronounced fungible.
Yes.
Fungible, non-fungible tokens. It just, again, kind of like my viral vector. Some of these things are just fun to say. Okay, I'm just going to throw these out at the parties I don't go to anymore. So, how are your viral vectors doing? All
Yeah,
right.
there you go. Great small talk. Great.
The
Well,
last,
I have one quick science question, and we're getting near the end. Can I ask you, since you were sciencey today, and you're saying
yes,
all these hard words I don't understand, you
yeah,
so one more sciencey question for you.
yeah.
I have noticed, not that this is a really perceptive observation, but I have noticed
Mm-hmm.
that pop or soda, whatever you call it, has switched from being called Diet whatever, Diet Coke, Diet
Yes.
Sprite, to no sugar. What's the meaning of that?
I have no idea. I have no idea. So instead of like, I just had a Diet Dr. Pepper, not bad.
I like Diet Dr. Pepper.
Mm.
Most of
But
them are
they're now
switching
just,
over to, yes, no sugar. I didn't know if this was like a body image thing or they're using different ingredients.
wow, good question. I have no idea. Something to research
For
for
next
next
time.
podcast.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And I want to say before we say thanks to Pat, I feel like the last time I tried to explain the Firebird Book Awards, but everybody look them up. Pat Rulo and Twitter, Speak Up Talk Radio. If you're an author and you want to get good feedback on your book and have something to show others how good your book really is, look up the Firebird Book Awards. But I don't think I said it real clearly the last time. So that's why I'm repeating it. And now I'm going to turn it over to you, Laura, because you always say this part so well.
Oh, don't I though, every time. Well, I can't believe it's time to go, Jean. And I miss you, but keep enjoying the world down there in Florida. And from sunny Ohio, we do. We just mentioned our wonderful gal that pulls us all together, Pat Rulio with Speak Up Talk Radio. And you can find us every single one of our episodes at okboomerpod.com or OK_boomer pod for Twitter and Instagram. Although I've been bad about updating them, I'll try to. That will motivate me.
There
Jane,
you.
anything else?
Well, toodles and have a great week, and maybe I'll see you soon.
Sounds good. Come home back to Ohio.
All
Goodbye,
right, love
everyone.
you. Bye.
Toodles.